No?
Okay.
Who gave you
Just
that
checking.
idea?
Hi, I'm Llytic. I'm joined here with Best Girl and Amethi. And if you're wondering why I'm not in any way responding to Tom right now, it's because I've muted him so that I can actually say something without being fucking interrupted this time.
Youch.
Simply put, Twilight did not deserve half the hate it got, nor did Stephenie Meyer. Do I agree with her on many of her views? No, but she's not a bad person, and the majority of the hate came from people that were trying to prove that they weren't like other teenage girls due to a stigma placed on things marketed towards teenage girls.
Wait, if you mute him, is he muted for Craig?
No.
So then you still got interrupted, boy!
Yes, but I didn't acknowledge it. Hell, honestly, I don't even really give half a shit about the differences she made to her vampires, because one, if she called them anything else, people would have got upset at her for not calling them vampires, and honestly, the idea of having them have some optical signifier during the daytime that they weren't human isn't a half bad idea, considering the fact that them dying due to sunlight is a cinematic invention. Now I'll unmute Amethi.
Okay.
There we go.
Am I unmuted now?
Yes.
First of all, Amethi is hilarious. That's great. I'm glad you picked that up. Second of all, I was going to try not to interrupt you this time consciously, so you probably didn't even need to mute me. Third of all, yeah, no, I agree with what you said.
All right.
Fourth of all, I apparently have server mutant powers and server death and powers. You should probably take that away from me before I do something stupid.
I gave all three of you, all two of you that. Holy shit.
There's
I'm not
three of
drinking
us.
today,
Craig,
I swear.
You gave Craig power? Are you crazy?
Craig's gonna kill us all!
Just you.
I'll come back.
But, yeah, basically, Stephenie Meyer didn't deserve half the shit she got. It's not like she's Erica Mitchell's. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because of the fact that we are reading something written by her. Some of you might have heard of a thing called Midnight Sun, which was which was the first Twilight book written from the perspective of Edward. If that sounds somewhat familiar, that's because Erica Mitchell also pulled the same shit with her book Grey. It's just that in her case, it actually got published, and it was garbage.
No wonder this book didn't get published. You can't have the sun at midnight.
Tell that to Alaska.
You know what?
I mean, with how far North Forks, Washington is, I mean, like I said, I spent this winter up in Wisconsin, and it was getting dark at 4.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's like a fuck you at that point. I don't think my mind could handle that.
It was also, like, the sun wasn't coming up until, like, I don't know, 10?
Very little sunlight.
Imagine going home from school at night.
Yeah, it's the whole thing, is, like, if you're going to school up there during the winter, like, both when you get to school and when you leave school, it's dark out.
That's depressing.
That's life.
Luckily, they have more...
Time to play outside! No. Everyone just probably stares, like, out the window at lunch, like, I want to go outside. It's the only time I get to see the sun anymore.
Mother, I miss sunlight.
We all do, Jeffrey.
I have to just get like one of those UV lights that you sometimes see people from like Alaska having, so that during the winter you actually can get some sunshine. Get that nice vitamin D.
Yeah, vitamin D is important.
But yeah, that courtesy that I do extend towards Stephenie Meyer, I do not extend towards Erica Mitchell, because Erica Mitchell is a fucking asshole. I mean, I've yet to hear of a case in which Stephenie Meyer insulted a rape victim for taking issue with their book.
Did she not? I mean, what do you do when you can, like, keep that in an actual, like, book of literature? Did she just say it wrong, display it wrong, or just
literally
the fact
what
that it was in there?
Literally what happened was that on Twitter, a person who was a victim of like rape, sexual assault, however you want to phrase it. Basically what happened, like she ended up saying, "Hey, your book's pretty fucking rapey." And Erica Mitchell responded on Twitter with a GIF from the Heat in which was the scene in which Melissa McCartney literally throws a phone book at the person that they were questioning in the interrogation room with the caption, "Read the book."
Why? It's terrible.
I mean,
because she was claiming that there weren't any themes of questionable consent in there.
I mean, what do you do when that happens? Do you own up like, yeah, it's a bit rapey? Like, do you say that as a writer?
Well, if you have any self-awareness and realize, yeah, this could be taken that way, then yes. But not when you're Erica Mitchell, the person who fired the first editor whenever her fanfiction was being adapted to a book because they were trying to change the structure too much. You know why that change of structure was kind of necessary? Because of the fact that it was a serially updated fanfiction that was getting like updates every other day pretty much. Which, when you do something like that, that works whenever you have like an audience that's like checking in every few days or so to see like what content's been added, but it doesn't work in the structure of a book. It's kind of the whole thing. Like, if any of those webcomics that anyone out there reads that have like stuff updated every now and then, it works in like that format, but it wouldn't work if you were to try and make a feature-length movie out of it because of the way the plot is structured.
Okay, I see. Like, she tried to actually make each chapter one of those little small, like, online fanfiction chapters or something?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, no. You do not do that in a book.
Yeah. It's kind of, I think Folding Ideas put it, like, ended up straight up saying, like, his comparison was, "Now, I absolutely love questionable content, but if you were to do a direct transfer of the comic to a movie, it would be terrible." Yeah. Alright, so we're starting at Chapter 1, of course. Link to this PDF I found will be in the description.
I'm gonna be really upset, to be honest, because now every time I see, like, a chapter, I'm still gonna be used to it being, like, some jumbled mess out of order instead of, something a bit more competent.
This isn't going to be as terribly written as what we usually deal with. It's just going to be something that we probably won't like the characters very much.
Yeah, as I was scrolling through this on it just a moment ago, that's why I've been silent. I was seeing a few grammatical errors, but it looks like this is more of a rough draft or
it's a rough draft and an incomplete one at that.
Mm-hmm. But
wait, so is Eduardo a really bad guy in this one compared to the normal books?
No, it's the same characterization as the Twilight books.
It's just from his point of view.
Yeah.
Because the Twilight books are from Bella's point of view.
Yeah, so we get his inner thoughts as opposed to Bella's.
Is he like a dick or something?
It's more or less a serial killer.
Okay.
Which for teenage girls that were all being dark and edgy at that time, that was kind of like the perfect thing for them to find in their like trashy romance novels. Ooh, this guy's all dark and mysterious. And this girl has little to no characterization, allowing me to imprint myself over her.
I think we're dark and edgy in high school. Or
it just panders well to a demographic, but due to a stigmatization about things that are marketed towards teenage girls, people blew their fucking shit about it.
So you're telling me girls did the reverse harem anime before it was cool?
I think that's always
been the case. It wasn't really a harem, but it was just one person.
Well, there were two of them, because it was Edward and Jacob.
Oh yeah.
We had sexy Native American. We had sexy Native American werewolf boy and sexy European vampire boy.
So you're telling me that the West makes harem anime too, just in different forms.
There is actually a manga adaptation of the Twilight series, which is quite possibly like the most fitting thing ever, considering the fact that vampires in the Twilight universe have a Bishi sparkle.
You see, it's not that I'm mad about a book. It's just I don't enjoy romance stories, I guess. Like, I don't know.
What was that?
I'm looking up graphic Twilight novel, and legit, This dude, he's doing the Arthur hand meme. Oh, God, hold on. You gotta see this. Like, look at the bottom right panel and tell me this isn't the Arthur hand meme.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Fucking Edward's doing the Arthur hand meme, whatever you call that thing.
I think I actually know the context of that too.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's start this. Chapter 1, First Sight. This was the time of day when I wished I were able to sleep.
High school.
Oh God, this is already so edgy. Or was purgatory the right word? If there was any way to atone for my sins, this ought to count towards the tally in some measure. The cheating was not something I grew used to. Every day seemed more impossibly monotonous than the last.
That's the whole thing. It's a bunch of teenage angst. Like,
is Edward
I don't like the pros.
Yeah, he's stuck at a perpetual teenage state because in universe, literally what happens is that when someone becomes a vampire, whatever their internal body chemistry was at the time they got turned is what they're stuck with for all eternity. So he's stuck as a hormonal teenager for the rest of his existence.
Oh, that poor guy.
He's not going to ever develop competence then. That doesn't happen until your late 20s or something, if I recall, or maybe even early.
Like mid-20s is when your brain stops developing.
Yeah, and that means he doesn't have a fully developed brain.
He's stuck with a teenage brain for hundreds and hundreds of years.
Oh, God.
Time for him to die.
It'd be a mercy for him, really.
Yeah, no,
that was the whole thing. Like, it's really just that the vampires in the book seem like a bunch of, like, grumpy Gus sourpusses. It's the whole thing of, like, we no longer eat or sleep. It's like, I mean, technically you can eat, it's just you choose not to.
Also,
There's nothing in there saying that you can't taste.
There's also not sustenance from it. Perks, you won't get hangry anymore. Downside, you can't.
That's kind of the whole thing. Is
hangry.
Like, but the majority of people, like when they're eating, like the majority of people in first world countries, when they're eating, it's less because of the fact that they feel the need to, and more just that they enjoy, they enjoy the experience of eating.
Yeah.
So that's the whole thing. If you no longer have to worry about like hunger or anything like that, you'd probably still be like, I just feel like eating right now. I suppose this was my form of sleep. If sleep was defined as the inert state between active periods.
I stared at the cracks running through the plaster in the far corner of the cafeteria, imagining patterns into them that were not there. It was one way to tune out the voices that babbled like the gush of a river inside my head.
Also worth noting, Edward has the ability to read minds and he can't turn it off.
Oh God, that would suck.
His life is hell.
That reminds me of that one episode of Fairly Odd Parents. Like, Timmy wished to be able to read people's minds, but he wasn't able to turn it off, and so to try to expose him as having fairly godparents, the teacher got everyone just to think really loudly, and Timmy nearly had a panic attack.
There is a thing at one point mentioned that him and the vampire he lives with that has the ability to see the future will literally hold entire games of chess inside their heads.
Yeah, you told me about that. It seems interesting.
It's an interesting concept.
If I could read minds, even if it was like something I couldn't turn off, I'd just work for the government. Not even for the government, but at the government. Just if I could manage to get myself into the White House or like into the FBI or something.
Be a janitor.
Imagine all the secrets I could casually know.
Oh God.
I'd be like WikiLeaks' best friend and the government's worst nightmare, and they're not going to figure out how I know. Like, he was just mopping in the floor in the main room. He wasn't even upstairs. What do you mean this is the person who's leaking all our info?
You're really going to want a ghost VPN, honestly, in that case, so that you can make it look like you're from somewhere else when you're posting this shit.
I posted from within the FBI's walls.
Oh God.
You know, I'd rather have the ability to turn it off again. Just going to be completely honest. If it was a choice between not being able to read minds and being able to read minds, but you couldn't turn it off, I wouldn't take that ability. I
would live alone at that point.
Honestly,
yeah, no,
what'd be great with the posting thing is you just make it look like you're posting from the Taco Bell inside the Pentagon.
Oh, there.
Wait, there's a Taco Bell inside the Pentagon?
It's in the center.
That's amazing.
I
mean, people gotta eat. Right,
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. I stopped talking for a while because all this talk of food actually made me hungry and I went to eat something real quick.
Several hundred is your line.
I thought you meant I ate several hundred or something.
No.
Several hundred of these voices I ignored out of boredom. All they thought about was fucking people and how much they hated school.
I mean, they are teenagers.
I don't know why he'd decide to go to,
He could be going to like multiple universities over the course of several hundreds of years. I think it's almost 200 years that he's been alive. He could have multiple degrees if he wanted to, but no, let's go to high school.
Massive debt? No thanks.
Well, there's also the whole thing that the one that can see the future has also been playing the stock market. I'm not kidding.
I guess he could just stand outside of the walls of the classroom, never actually, go inside and just read the minds of the teachers. And learn
But yeah,
stuff.
that's like the people he's staying with, they're loaded. So he wouldn't have to worry about the debt part. When it came to the human mind, I've heard it all before and then some. Today, old thoughts were consumed with some trivial drama of the new addition to the small student body here. It took so little to work them all up. I'd seen the new face repeated in thought after thought from every angle. Just an ordinary human girl. The excitement over her arrival was tiresomely predictable, like flashing a shiny object at a child. Half the sheep-like males were already imagining themselves in love with her just because she was something new to look at. I tried harder to tune them out.
Oh, I already hate called people sheep.
Yeah.
Only four voices did I block out of courtesy rather than distaste. My family, my 2 brothers and 2 sisters, who were so used to the lack of privacy in my presence that they rarely gave it a thought. I gave them what privacy I could. I tried not to listen if I could help it.
Try as I may, still, I knew.
Rosalie was thinking, as usual, about herself. Seems to be the case with most of the vampires in this universe. She caught sight of her profile in the reflection of someone's glasses.
These must be like the really weird kids at school. Like, why is she staring at so much?
She was mulling over her own perfection. To get one of the whole things that the vampire venom or whatever it's called beautifies the person, but seriously. Rosalie's mind was a shallow pool with few surprises.
Emmett was fuming over a wrestling match he'd lost to Jasper during the night. It would take all his limited patience to make it to the end of the school day to orchestrate a rematch. I never really felt intrusive hearing Emmett's thoughts because he never thought one thing that he would not say aloud or put into action. Perhaps I only felt guilty reading the others' minds because I knew there were things there that they wouldn't want me to know. If Rosalie's mind was a shallow pool, then Emmett's was a lake with no shadows, glass clear.
And Jasper was suffering. I suppressed a sigh.
Life is pain.
Existence is pain.
Edward? Alice called my name in her head and had my attention at once.
It was just the same as having my name called aloud. I was glad my given name had fallen out of style lately. It had been annoying. Anytime anyone thought of any Edward, my head would turn automatically. Oh, that must have been creepy.
Oh, it really must have sucked for him after the books came out.
Oh, yeah. If I figured that out, I would purposely fuck with this dude.
Oh my God.
I just like think Edward really loud in my head, like, Edward, look out! See if you jump or something. Then he turned around and looked at me, and I had like my elbow and like my face on my chin, just looking at him, like I knew he had mind reading powers by now. Just like, fooled you this time.
Honestly, I'm just thinking about that whole thing that I think the majority of people can relate to. Just that sudden random moment where you start thinking about sex and then come and like regain clarity. It's like, shit, I hope no one realized I was thinking about sex.
I mean, I've never had that experience, honestly.
Yes,
yeah,
but you're
as
also
a virgin,
vanilla.
I don't think about sex. Can't
Suddenly flashback to porn you watched last night.
Oh, that might actually happen.
And then you're like, oh shit, god damn it.
Hello, friend. It's not time right now. We're in the middle of class.
Like I saw someone post that whole thing to Tumblr, and it was like someone like posted, "Wow, I'm really glad that my body doesn't give that away." And then someone commented, "Looks at penis annoyed."
Alright.
Oh god.
Is it my life?
Yes.
My head didn't turn now. Damn it! Alice and I were good at these private conversations. It was rare that anyone caught us. I kept my eyes on the lines of his in the plaster.
How was he holding up? She asked me.
I frowned, just a small change at the side of my mouth. Nothing that would tip the others off. I could easily be frowning out of boredom.
Alice's mental tone was alarmed now, and I saw it in her vision.
You're cut out for me.
Yeah, same here.
Alice, sorry, I turned on my microwave. It does that sometimes. Alice's mental note was alarmed now, and I saw in her mind that she was watching Jasper in her peripheral vision. Is there any danger? She searched ahead into the immediate future, skimming through visions of monotony for the source behind my frown. And then me trying to fuck the new kid. She saw that far into the future, and then I saw it, and we just kind of like kind of sat there awkwardly, like,
wow.
What?
It actually is kind of an interesting concept. Someone who can read minds having a mental conversation with someone who can see the future. So literally, it's just that they see what you would say in response.
Well,
I can't mention to my brother about the girl he's about to
Shit.
So the question becomes, is it, can she see the actual future or possible futures?
It's mentioned in the books that it's basically possible futures. It's a whole thing to where if like something were to change based on what she sees, if someone were to do something in response to what she sees, it could change the future.
Other than that, it's pretty much linear because she's not affecting anything else.
Yeah, basically.
Which is why she can play the stock market.
Yeah. Or kind of like the whole mental game of chess thing. It's literally that she's like what she sees is what he would do in response to the move that she just thought. Yeah. It's an interesting concept. Again,
yeah, a little bit.
You know what I hate about mind reading though? Every time, like, if I ever ran across somebody that could mind read and they said, I'm mind reading right now, my first thought would be, shit, don't think about sex or masturbating. But then I'd be like, wait, now they know that I think about that. Well, I kind of stare at them too, like, shit.
Oh god, that's a lot of dick.
Or if I ever feared...
I'm just imagining you like think about that for a second. The person just kind of raises an eyebrow and says, "Nice."
Or
I'm just thinking about like if you watch it from the outside, it's like, no, I can read your mind, right? Look startled. Other person looks even more startled.
I could just picture like people like like the Pain Olympics, like 2 Girls and 1 Cup's really gross stuff that
Oh god,
never seen it, never want to.
I would memorize stuff like that, so when people read my mind on command, I could just think about that and just watch as the mind reader goes, just like right there, as they can't like
Actually, that's in a lot of cases, like in fiction and stuff, where there's mind reading as a factor. A lot of people will come up with stuff like that for mental defenses, just based on what you're thinking. Zane, out of all of us, you'd probably have the best mental defense.
Like, oh yeah, he's just singing in his head. What's this other guy? Oh God!
I'm just flashing back to that whole one thing I told you about, Tom, where I had a character whose whole thing is that they had a mental connection to the internet. So you could really fuck with them just by mentioning something fucked up because of the way the mind works.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I remember that.
They'd accidentally reflexively search it.
2 girls, 1. Oh God!
Chirpy, chef, god damn it!
Don't mention that blasphemy to me.
Chirpy.
I'm still pissed at you for that.
Good.
Granted, I didn't have to watch it, so it's just as much my fault as yours. But
I turned my head slowly to the left, as if looking at the bricks of the wall, side, and then turned to the right, back to the cracks in the ceiling. Only Alice knew I was shaking my head.
She relaxed. Let me know if it gets too bad.
I moved on to my eye. I moved on. I moved on to my eyes. Put them under my feet. Anyway, I moved onto my eyes, up to the ceiling above and back down.
I'm guessing that was supposed to be nodding. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah. I lost my place. Hang on.
Thanks for doing this. Yeah.
I was trying not to break this. Oh, here we go. I was glad I couldn't answer her aloud. What would I say? My pleasure? It was hardly that. I didn't enjoy listening to Jasper's struggles. Was it really necessary to experiment like this? Wouldn't the safer path be to just admit that he might never be able to handle the thirst the way the rest of us could and not push his limits? Why flirt with disaster?
Yeah, that was the whole thing. If memory serves, like Jasper, at least in the first book, was one of the more newly turned to the vampires, so he had more issues controlling hunger. Yeah.
I'm just waiting for like the teacher like figure it out too. Not even like to figure out their mind reading, but like watch them try to like communicate in this weird way, and she's just like staring at them right now. So like when Edward looks back
around so much.
Yeah, so when Edward like looks back around, the entire class is staring at him.
Honestly, like most classroom settings, I don't think anyone would care.
No, the only reason they care is because like the terror has stopped teaching at this point, and is staring at Edward right now. That's what I mean. Like the entire classroom setting is disrupted at this moment because the teacher has stopped and looked at them. Or maybe the bookworms will look like. I want to learn. Damn it!
That was me in school.
It had been 2 weeks since our last hunting trip. That was not an immensely difficult time spent for the rest of us. A little uncomfortable occasionally if a human walked too close. You're too close, sir. Why? What do you mean I'm too close? Ah! The wind blew the wrong way. But humans rarely ever walk too close. Their instincts told them what their conscious minds would never understand. We were dangerous. Not really. It'd be too cramped in the school, I would assume. To just stay too far away. Even then, the people are going to be close to you because you're in a fucking classroom. What, they have to like slam their like arm against your nose or something?
I'm just imagining like the vampires being like that one weird kid in class. Just everyone instinctively avoids them.
Yeah, like he thinks he's like so cool and popular on top, but everyone just thinks Edward and his like family are a bunch of fucking weirdos for some reason.
Yeah, they definitely give off a school shooter vibe. White, mopey.
That is the most modern setting I could think of for this.
Jasper was very dangerous right now.
At that moment, a small girl paused at the end of the closest table to ours, stopping to talk to a friend. She tossed her short, sandy hair, running her fingers through it. The heaters blew her scent in our direction. I was used to the way that scent made me feel. The dry ache in my throat, the hollow urine in my stomach, the automatic tightening of my muscles, the excess flow of venom in my mouth.
The bulge in my groin.
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
This was all quite normal. Usually easy to ignore. It was harder just now. With the feeling stronger, doubled as I monitored Jasper's reactions. Twin thirst, rather than just mine.
I mean, that is an interesting situation that you might end up having when you're looking into someone else's mind, having their emotions being something that you're also feeling. Jasper was letting his imagination get away from him. He was picturing it, picturing himself getting up from his seat next to Alice and going to stand beside the little girl. The thinking of leaning down and in as if he were going to whisper into her ear and then letting his lips touch the arch of her throat, imagining how the hot flow of her pulse beneath the fine skin would feel under his mouth.
I kicked his chair.
He met my gaze for a minute and then looked down. I could hear shame and rebellion in his head.
All right, man, I won't eat her. Sorry, Jasper muttered.
I shrugged.
Shit, I'm eating again. You weren't going to do anything, Alice murmured to him. Oh, you weren't going to do anything to him. Alice murmured to him, soothing his jargon. I could see that.
Chagrin is used a lot in this series.
Yeah, it's a decent word.
Yes, but not whenever it's used several times.
Okay.
I fought back the grimace that would give her lie away. We had to stick together, Alice and I. It wasn't easy, hearing voices or seeing visions of the future, both freaks among those who were already freaks. We protected each other's secrets.
It helps a little if you think of them as people, Alice suggested. Oh, God.
That's kind of like the underlying issue with the series a lot, is the fact that the vampires are all basically sociopaths.
Her high musical voice too fast for human ears to understand, if only had them close enough to hear.
So literally, it helps if you think of those people.
I'm thinking of like the super fast like flash talk in like Young Justice, if y'all saw that season 2. Like
says that in under a second.
Yeah. Her name is Whitney. She has a baby sister she adores. Her mother invited Esme to the garden party. Do you remember?
Sorry, hold on.
Busy eating the child.
Yeah, pretty much. Also, I don't know why everyone's like treating the people who can read minds or like read the future as like freaks, because I don't treat them as freaks, but I'm pretty sure they'd hate me anyways because I might have been their bullies.
Oh, God.
Because like I said, I memorized really gross stuff, so every time the person who read minds read mine, all he would project, he'd be like forced to vomit just every time he read my mind. So maybe just the thought of thinking about me would just be like, huh. And then for the girl that could read like the future, I would make plans to try to fuck with reality to the point where she's going to think at some point I'm going to kick her door down like at home and like do like a really annoying prank to her house or something. But then actually commit to it. So like actually commit to some of them so that she knows that I'm capable of doing it and I will do it. So every time she tries to stop me, I'd be like, what do you mean? You're just reading the future. Just be in the present. You're thinking too hard about it.
Honestly, I'm imagining the things you plan just being like really innocuous things. Like still, like, why would you do this? But like break their door down and steal their couch cushions.
Yes, that's the thing. I wouldn't want to be actually harmful. I do really annoying stuff that she'd want me to, or like they'd want me to stop doing it.
Like she just like sees a vision of the future. She sees a vision of the future in which every vase in the house is gone.
Exactly. And she's just like, God fucking damn it. She can't even like figure out who it is in the future until
Stop
she like
planning on stealing my vases.
I just imagined you'd either be their best friend or they'd hate you with everything they have.
Exactly. I wouldn't be treating them like a freak. I'd be pranking them like a friend.
You just like at one point actually commit to stealing like one of the potted plants from outside their house.
And then you'll do it every now and then just so they don't know when you're actually going to do it or if you're not going to.
Exactly.
Why do I see a version of the future in which all of our plates are gone?
You know what'd be funny too? Like they walked up to me like, hey Zane, not say anything to me and then walk away. I'll be like, what was that? I just predicted the future. You already told me where all my stuff was. I'm gonna go get it.
So
They'd
that's
be
where
like,
my
the key's
forks
under the
went.
mat. Just don't forget it. It's like in my room or something.
So that's where the forks went.
Yep. It'd be really, really evil and mean, but like, it'd be like, you know, maybe they might be comfortable with it, you know, since I'm not apparently treating them like a freak like everyone else seems to.
Just get home and the bathroom rugs are gone.
No, they go.
Fuck.
They go
That
home
first
and
time they wouldn't know it, but like, let's say they go to like class the next day, and looks like normally they're reading the future, whatever. They get to me, I mention the stuff to them in their mind, and then just like in the middle of class, they just go like, "God damn it!"
Okay, we need to keep going.
Sorry.
Yeah. The first chapter's a little long.
I know who she is.
That's
Zane.
your line, Zane.
I know who she is, Jasper said curtly. He turned away to stare out of the small windows that were spaced just under the eaves around the long room. His tone ended the conversation.
Honestly, I find the said curtly thing funny, being as they're apparently speaking too fast for the human ear to register.
They're still moving around at normal pace, though, so he like finished before he even turned around.
Yeah. He would have to hunt tonight. It was ridiculous to take risks like this, trying to test his strength to build his endurance. Jasper would just accept his limitations and work within them. His former habits were not conducive to our chosen lifestyle. He shouldn't push himself in this way.
Conducive. Also, Jasper sounds like Vampire Goku. Just gonna say that right now.
And this is to go even further beyond.
Alice sighed silently and stood, taking her tray of food, her prop, as it were, with her and leaving him alone. She knew when he'd had enough of her encouragement. Though Rosalie and Emmett were more flagrant about their relationship, it was Alice and Jasper who knew each other's every mood as well as their own. As if they could read minds too, only just each other's.
Edward Cullen.
Reflex reaction. I turned to the sound of my name being called, though it wasn't being called, just thought.
So he can tell if it's being thought or being called?
I'm pretty sure if it's being called, it's said out loud.
Well, I mean, yes, but like if you can read minds, are you like registering it, like hearing it? Or
you'd be hearing it inside your mind.
Or would you... it's like...
It's like the difference between thinking something and saying something. You wouldn't register it with your ears, you'd register it mentally.
Yeah, okay, I can kind of see that. Of course, I say things sometimes, and then like a couple minutes later, I think back, I'm like, did I say that or did I think it? So, that's just me. Anyway, my eyes locked for a small portion of a second with a pair of wide, chocolate brown human eyes set in a pale, heart-shaped face.
She looked like an owl.
Oh, that's cute.
You know what? Yeah, that's actually kind of cute.
I'm just imagining like actual barn owl.
I like barn owls.
I'm just thinking of like some really short girl with like bright eyes, even if they're kind of brown, just kind of like staring up at him from a hoodie.
Turns her head 180 degrees.
I knew the face, though I'd never seen it myself before this moment. It had been foremost in every human head today. The new student, Isabella Swan, daughter of the town's chief of police, brought to live here by some new custody situation. Bella. She'd corrected everyone who'd used her full name.
Isabella. I looked away, bored. God, this man's a cock, and I hate him. It took me a second to realize that she had not been the one to think my name. Of course she's already crushing on the Cullens.
That's my line.
Oh.
Of course she's already crushing on the Cullens, I heard the first thought continue.
Now I recognized the voice. Jessica Stanley. It had been a while since she'd bothered me with her internal chatter. What a relief it had been when she'd gone over her misplaced infatuation. It used to be nearly impossible to escape her constant ridiculous daydreams. I'd wished at the time that I could explain to her exactly what would have happened if my lips and the teeth behind him had gotten anywhere near her. That would have silenced those annoying fantasies. The thought of her reaction almost made me smile.
Oh god, can you imagine, like, if you could read minds and all of a sudden you just got, like, the mental image of someone trying to bone you?
Oh my gosh, he actually snaps and says it to her, and the first thought she has is, okay.
Just imagining, like, you just suddenly have, like, you just suddenly feel someone thinking that, just turn, no!
You know what? If that was, like, an actual power that, like, you've told everyone you had, and, like, you've confirmed it, I could just picture you being comfortable doing that, like, no? No?
Like, I'd fucking hate people, too, if I had to deal with them thinking about fucking me, and I knew it.
None of that. Shame on you.
Out in my Christian Minecraft server.
And then I'd just be in the back of the class and you'd hear, oh, that's how you get him. Now that's how you piss him off. I'd get like a look too, like, don't you dare.
Under the bleachers, handcuffs.
I just start listing that off in my head.
Just start doing a very graphic image in your mind.
I think if I knew they couldn't turn it off, I'd try to chill, but if they could, I'd totally do it.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Like, catch him off guard, not... Oh, God.
Perpetually make his life worse forever.
Yeah, I think... Is it Zane's turn?
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah. Fat lot of good.
Fat lot of good it'll do. Jessica went on. She's really not even pretty. I don't know why Eric is staring so much, or Mike.
Have you fucking seen... shit, I forgot the actress's name.
Kristen Stewart.
Kristen Stewart. Have you fucking seen Kristen Stewart?
Kristen, not Christian. Kristen.
Kristen, fuck. Dyslexia. Have you fucking seen her? Have you?
Not for a while, so I don't know.
She's not
that's how
cutie.
you spell her name, I think.
She looks
like she's going through a Miley Cyrus stage.
Oh, with the short... Honestly, she looks good with short hair.
Yeah.
Then again, most people look good with short hair and long hair.
I just don't like the I'm gonna shave half my head and then have long hair. It's just
I honestly do like that look on people.
It's not my thing.
Yeah, it's all a matter of personal taste, really.
Oh, she has like a shaved head picture too. I can just get her hair and we can be matching.
It's actually spelled with an E. I'm correcting myself.
God damn it.
Could he stand instead of... I should have like chemo or something, and I'm just making fun of a chemo patient.
I don't think that's what the case was.
Kristen. I don't know. Kristen Stewart, not necessarily my taste.
She winced mentally on the last name. Her new infatuation, the generically popular Mike Newton, was completely oblivious to her. I think most people are oblivious.
Generically popular?
Yes.
Edward, shut the fuck up. Oh god.
Is it weird that, like, Edward's mental patterns right now are reminding me of incel forums?
I hope... He's acting like maybe he is an incel. I mean, think about it. He lives with a family of vampires. The only one he seems even slightly, like, respectful towards are his own family. Yeah, so I don't think he's gotten any coochie in a while.
It was actually mentioned that apparently he has never ejaculated once in his life.
That's bullshit. I don't believe it.
Because the whole thing is that due to their body freezing more or less, vampires don't produce sperm.
And he wasn't just born a vampire, was he?
No. So
exactly. He jacked off before then.
and not once during his time as a vampire after.
God, this man
he just still had some during that time.
He's just this man is a fucking incel. God damn. Where's your fedora, asshole?
It's a good thing he can't grow any hair. Oh god, neck-bearded vampire.
I think that's our thumbnail.
Oh god. Apparently he was not as oblivious to the new girl, like the child with the shiny object again. don't think most people care in that situation. It's like, oh, hey, new person. All right.
I'd be
Depends
like,
on-
do I gotta be friendly with this person, or can I just get in the back of the room and not say anything to them? Sit
Honestly,
next to
with me, it's just, hey, potential new friend. Friends!
Oh my gosh, the man with the mind reading powers is just sitting in class dozing off, then all of a sudden he just friend! Like, he shoots up as a new person walks in.
So what the fuck was that? Oh, I forgot the class dog. This put a mean edge to Jessica's thoughts. Though she was outwardly cordial to the newcomer as she explained to her the commonly held knowledge about my family, the new student must have asked about us. Who are those weird, pale, disturbingly symmetrical people over there?
So I heard you're all a family of albinos, I think it was?
A whole bunch of adopted albinos that are apparently in a semi-incestuous relationship.
Yeah, the rumors aren't good.
Everyone's looking at me today too, Jessica thought smugly in an aside. Isn't it lucky Bella had 2 classes with me? I'll bet Mike will want to ask me what she's...
Tried to block the inane chatter out of my head before petty and trivial could drive me mad. I mean, I guess if I'd been perpetually in high school my entire life, I'd be a bit annoyed with the bullshit too, but at the same time, man, calm down.
If your family's loaded, why not just go to uni?
Exactly.
Multiple times.
Or...
I have 15 doctorates!
Or start a YouTube career, do something at home.
Well, I mean, they predate YouTube.
Welcome to the Shiny Guy's house today. We're going outside so I can prove to you guys that I shine.
I covered myself in body glitter today.
Yeah, so I covered myself in body glitter today.
Like, that's just the cover-up for why he's sparkling.
Yep.
You know, honestly, they probably could cover up the whole thing by just saying that they were, like, makeup gurus.
They really could, yeah.
I just cover myself in body glitter.
Honestly, this is why I kind of, like, hate modern setting stuff like this, because there are so many ways these people could, like, easily intermingle with humans, but they all try to act like they can't or they don't want to.
Basically,
Like,
just the whole thing that they're usually, like, arrogant dickheads.
Mm-hmm. Like, do you know that one story I was reading? Like, the one comic I was telling you about I was reading? How there's, like, actual monsters, they can't leave, like, the area because they don't have medallions or whatever?
Yeah.
The entire time that happened, I was just screaming, go to a convention. Everyone would think you were in costume, no matter how terrifying you looked. You would fit in perfectly, you could interact with people, and you could buy cool nerd swag.
That actually happens in Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid.
Exactly.
Like, that's one of the things mentioned, is that, like, different monsters will just go to, like, cosplay conventions and stuff and just tell people they're, like, wearing prosthetics and stuff.
Yeah, but this is my, like, unique costume. I'm sorry, I can't tell you the details on how it works, even if you're another cosplay fanatic.
Oh god, I'm just imagining, like, one of those character-type YouTube channels, like some of the reviewer stuff and stuff like that. Like, you just say you're playing a character of that type. Okay, Jessica Stanley is giving the new Swan Girl all the dirty laundry on the Cullen clan. I murmured to Emmett as a distraction.
He chuckled under his breath. I hope she's making it good, he thought.
She's mainly talking about the fact that despite the fact that our cover is that we're all adopted family, we're dating each other. Kind of awkward.
Yeah, everyone thinks we want to bone each other in our family now.
Well, that's the whole thing. It's literally that they're like, their cover is that they are adoptive family, but then you have it to where, like, because, like, I'm trying to remember who's dating who, because it's literally like the 2 brothers and 2 sisters, quote unquote, are, like, dating each other. So it's like,
it sounded like
covering that up in high school. Mm-mm.
It's like maybe adoptive family wasn't your best cover.
It sounds like some of those weird animes out there. And
yeah, it's don't fuck your sister. As was said in the Mother's Basement harem public service anime episode. And even if they're your step-sibling, even if they're your stepsister, don't fuck your sister!
Is it my line?
Yes.
And the new girl?
Yes.
No, rather unimaginative.
Rather unimaginative, actually. Just a barest hint of scandal, not an ounce of horror. I'm a little disappointed.
Little bit of scandal. If memory serves, at least in the movie, one of the things said by one of them is, I wish I could get adopted into their family. Because of the prospect of fucking one of them.
Oh, Lord.
Wait. How can you be super beautiful, but, also naturally scary to everyone?
I don't know. I mean, most of those people I've met that are, weird, weirdly over-the-top attractive, it's just nah, I don't feel like it.
Beauty can be intimidating. Ugh.
Honestly, it's just more that I have a thing for average-looking people.
Middle
of the road, because most middle-of-the-road people are still pretty good-looking.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really, I haven't dated anyone, so I don't know what my type is, but so far I think what I like is, bookworms and stuff. I don't think I could get along with someone who's super, talkative all the time. If I get forced to go everywhere, I don't think I could handle them.
And meanwhile, for me, it's aggressive people. I'm here to get dominated. Shit, where were we? And the new girl? Is she disappointed in the gossip as well?
I listened to hear what this new girl, Bella, thought of Jessica's story. What did she see when she looked at this strange, chalky-skinned family that was universally avoided?
This dude's got a bug in his hair. Why has he been staring at me for so long? I'm just gonna scoot my chair a bit away.
I listened to hear what this new girl, Bella, thought of Jessica's story. What did she see? What did she see when she looked at... Oh, wait, no, shit, whoops.
I just read that.
Yes, you did.
Line.
It was sort of my responsibility to react. Oh, look at the big boy here. Responsible. Oh.
Why is that your reaction to that word?
Why does he need to be responsible for her reaction? God damn.
Oh, got you. That's what you meant. I thought it was because he was using a big word.
No. Acted as a lookout, for lack of a better word, for my family. To protect us. From what? Teenagers? If anyone ever grew suspicious, I could give us early warning and an easy retreat. It happened occasionally. Some humans with an active imagination would see in us the characters of the book or a movie. Usually they got it wrong, but it was better to move on somehow than to risk scrutiny.
Wait, so you're saying that you would leave because someone daydreamed about you?
More like, those are weird. They remind me of these vampire things video I watched. That's interesting.
Vampires?
Vampires? Vampires? There's like a vampire hunter, there's an after school, vampire hunter group at the school.
Oh, God.
Twilight meets Buffy the Vampire
Why would you
Slayer.
make that?
Very, very rarely someone would guess right. We didn't give them a chance to test their hypothesis. We simply disappeared. Wow, that actually makes it worse.
Most of the people that would actually legitimately think that are delusional.
We simply disappeared to become no more than a frightening memory. And then they chased us down to the next town.
Oh no, some fucking legbeard thought, got caught up in this delusion that we were vampires. Better skip town. Instead of just being...
Mom, one of the kids in my class is going to come here later tonight. He's going to try to steal something to test if I have mind-reading powers. Or, if my brother has mind-reading powers and if I, could see the future.
Just imagine...
So what, you want me to stop him? Or do you want me to just let him do it? Because if we know he's there, then that would prove his point, right?
Well, you see, we have a home security system.
No, he's going to go steal your begonias, Mom. You already hear the shovel outside.
Well, if you can hear it, just like turn on the porch light.
turns on, click, shit!
But no, I'm just imagining like one of those students, like one of those like delusional students being like, I know what you are. You're a vampire. Fuck, I'm not. You're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Oh,
They're just
vampire,
like,
what the fuck?
Can I be a vampire too?
Vampires aren't real, you shithead. Fuck off.
Just like chime in. I mean, he looks edgy enough to be vampire, but pale skin and stuff. But dude, come on, they're not real.
Vampires aren't fucking real. What the fuck's wrong with you? I heard nothing, though I listened close beside where Jessica's frivolous internal monologue continued. Gosh.
Oh, Lord.
All I'm getting, my immediate... Okay, I know, like, the in-universe explanation, but I'm just immediately thinking, lights are on, but nobody's home. Bella just doesn't have a thought in her head.
Good lord, chapter 1 is 22 pages long.
It was as if there was no one sitting beside her. How peculiar. Had the girl moved? Didn't seem likely, as Jessica was still babbling to her. I looked up to check, feeling off balance. Continued on checking on what my extra hearing could tell me. But it wasn't something I ever had to do. Yeah, just gonna point it out now, the whole thing with Bella is that she basically has an immunity to other people's abilities. That's literally like her whole thing. Like, if memory serves, the one that can see the future can't see her in her visions. Yeah.
Again,
hey, bro, I see you marrying someone, but
I don't know who.
There.
You're kissing a void.
Again, my gaze locked on those same wide brown eyes. She was sitting right where she had been before and looking at us. A natural thing to be doing, I supposed, as Jessica was still regaling her with the local gossip about the Cullens.
So, like, humans can just randomly have powers, too?
If memory serves, it's like weird muted versions of what they would have if they turned into a vampire.
So everyone has little baby powers until they're a vampire?
Apparently. Apparently, this is just the Boku no Hero Academia universe.
Thinking about us, too, would be natural.
But I couldn't hear a whisper.
Your mind's really blank, Bella. What?
So are you just an idiot, or...?
My headcanon is she's not immune to the abilities, she just doesn't think at all.
Well, no, because it's the whole thing is like after she becomes a vampire, if memory serves, one of the things that's shown is that she can literally just block other people's abilities.
Oh, okay. Inviting warm red stain to her cheeks as she looked... Hold on a sec.
Oh, I could just imagine her fucking with, like, Edward and his, like, you know, his sister or whatever in the middle of a chess match, and then Bella just, like, blocks the future sight.
Oh, God.
Shit, I can't see ahead. I don't know what his moves are. And Edward just laughs in his mind. Yes, now I have the upper hand.
Laughs in psychic. Amethi.
Sorry, my mom came in, was picking up my employee discount card. She's going to Walmart. Anyway.
Right now, man, we're in the middle of an episode.
Anyway, I'm not going. They're leaving, so she had to she asked if she could have my employee discount card, which my wallet is on my person, so I just muted it just so I wouldn't hear any background. Anyway, inviting warm red stained her cheeks as she looked down, away from the embarrassing gaffe of getting caught staring at a stranger. It was good that Jasper was still gazing out the window. I didn't like to imagine what that easy pooling of blood would do to his control.
The emotions had been as clear as her face as it held out in words across her surprise, as she unknowingly absorbed the signs of the subtle difference between her kind and mine, curiously, as she listens to Jessica's tale, and something more. Fascination? It wouldn't be the first time. We were beautiful to them, our intended prey. Then, finally, embarrassment, as I caught her staring at me. Oh god, the person who likes to fuck his sister's looking at me.
No, that's the whole thing. Like, Edward's the only one of the Cullens that's not hooked up.
Maybe he's gonna ask me to be his sister.
Fucking cult. The Manson family bullshit going over there. Albino-ass cult shit.
I'm really just waiting for like a like vampire story for like someone bites them in the neck. They just kind of scream as they find like a knife in their gut. Like everyone just kind of gives up when they're bitten. But I'm pretty sure most people would be like, shit, I'm getting bit. Get stabbed or hit or something.
Well, it has to do with the fact that in most myths, vampires have some sort of compulsion, and often that has some sort of sexual backing to it. It's also part of the reason why the bite is typically to the neck, because of the sexual connotation of, well, chewing on someone's neck.
So you're telling me if I was just like bros with a vampire, he'd just eat from...
He'd what?
He'd just like bite into my arm where I get like a shot and just suck from... Because
Yeah,
like if he
I
went
mean,
for
if
my
you wanna
neck,
go
that'd be
with
pretty gay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get a drink from you, no homo.
Yeah, it's just like hold out your arm.
Well, like, it's also the whole thing, like, the neck, that would also be more likely to kill, so...
Also,
That's the whole
arteries.
thing, too. Like, if you were to get bit in the neck, you'd probably bleed out in less than a minute.
Yeah, but that's still a minute of fighting back.
You're both dead.
I mean, I'm
Backing
pretty
it
sure
down
you get
with
in
me.
one good stab while he's just kind of sitting there on your neck.
I'm just imagining, like, right when they bite your neck, you end up, like, impaling them through the heart with a stake. It's like you both just fall over dead. You found two people dead, one with a piece of wood in their chest and the other one with the other person's mouth wrapped around their throat. What the fuck happened? Unless you're one of those weirdos who wants that the vampires turn to ash when they die for some fucking reason. Let's see. Also, it's the whole thing that I find weird is that their beauty is supposed to draw people in when Zane can kind of vouch for this. People tend to go for their looks match.
Yes. Complete confirmation from developmental classes. Psychology proven you go for your level of attractiveness usually. Not usually over.
Like, you're immediately drawn to someone who's, like, equal to you in attractiveness.
Yes.
Quote unquote.
So pretty much Hollywood is filled with vampires.
So it'd just be like the fucking, like, I don't want to say like top tier, but just people who are like on the top, like on the like far reaches of the bell curve, just approaching these people, and everyone else would just be like, nah, I don't know, I don't really care about them.
They're a bit too pretty, I guess.
Why is their face so symmetrical?
Yeah, I mean there are outliers, and I'm pretty sure there'd be plenty of like if vampires were of beautiful people, just going for average people, but like for the most part.
Like, relationship-wise, it's less based on looks, it's more based on personality.
It's just who you'd be more comfortable going for first, pretty much.
Yeah, it'd basically be like who you're more likely to open up to.
I think that would also concern me, like, why is this family filled with only really, like, beautiful people?
Which might also explain the whole thing of, like, because stuff like that's a bell curve. The majority of people are going to be average, middle of the road, not overly good looking, not downright terrible looking people, which would explain why the majority of people find it pretty easy to socialize. Physically speaking, like, unless they have like a social disorder or something.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me of one of my favorite sayings. I think it was by Mark Twain, maybe, I don't know, but it's like it said God loves plain looking people. That's why he made so many of them. And I don't know, that's just a cool little saying in my opinion.
And yet, though her thoughts had been so clear in her odd eyes, odd because of the depth of them. I'm just imagining she is actually like part owl, so she's unable to like move her eyes around. Like her only way to like look in different directions is to turn her head. Odd because of the depth of them. Brown eyes often seem flat in their darkness. You gotta get brown eyes.
Yeah.
I could hear nothing but silence from
black people.
There is actually an unfortunate implication with the vampires because apparently the vampire venom literally just burns away pigment inside the body.
Oh no, I can't be a brother no more.
So literally
God.
it does turn you like physically, like more or less physically albino in that regard, and that was kind of unfortunate considering the whole quote-unquote beautification thing with the venom because it made it seem like Stephenie Meyer was a bit racist.
All right. But. Okay. So you've got a black guy, right?
Yeah.
Becomes a vampire, and he gets beautified. Would he get beautified in a different way than a white person to be attracted to, I mean, that sounds a bit racist too, but you get what I'm trying to say. Like, his facial structure and his body are going to be different because he's, not a white person. So would he be beautified like that and he'd look kind of weird, or would he be beautified into like what a black person would look like? And then turned albino, so it looks weird.
Just like looks like a black model, but like weirdly pale.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to get at. Does he turn into that?
Honestly, that wouldn't surprise me. It was changed in the movie because in the movie you do see like one of the quote-unquote villains is a black vampire, and he is still like color-wise a black person.
He's just
but it was
black.
No, he was actually, if memory serves, he was relatively dark. But it was one of those things where it's like, ooh, maybe having that be mentioned in the book isn't the best idea.
Yeah. You know what it is? He was very dark, but he was pale in the face, kind of, unless that's only the sun and I'm retarded.
Did you actually look him up?
I looked up Vampire Black Twilight.
Vampire Black Twilight?
Yes.
Twilight Black guy.
Yeah.
There's another one that pops up. Not Taylor. Taylor Lautner's not black. What the fuck?
Oh my gosh, I just see like a picture of like a black dude that's one of Bella's friends, and it looks like he's sniffing her face.
Shit. Okay. Like, I do see the actual character, and I guess he is, like, he's lighter.
He gets shiny when the sun gets on him more than a normal black person would. That's what it is.
I think that's more than most people would, yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why he looks paler in the sun, but when he's not,
I'm not finding his, Laurent, I guess, who was played by a black actor, Eddie Gathegi. Although Gathegi wears makeup to lighten his natural skin tone.
Yeah.
So I guess the implication is that he's less dark than he would be naturally. Okay.
Also, that's strange. You don't really think of black vampires too often, do you?
Not usually, no.
It's probably because it came from a more European,
Yeah, it was a European thing. Yeah.
I want to look up like African like monsters now.
I've found a few of them. One of them, if memory serves, is like a man-eating lightning bird.
Yo.
Let's see. Okay. I could hear nothing but silence from the place she was sitting. Nothing at all.
I felt a moment of unease.
She's not thinking anything. She's just sitting and staring. Still flashing back to this Bella is an owl thing, so I'm just imagining head turns fully sideways.
just her head like can rotate 180 degrees.
Yeah.
If we're thinking owl, I'm thinking she's like fluffy too, so I'm just picturing her looking up at like a tall Edward too while doing this, just huge eyes.
Well, like, my immediate thought is that much like an owl, it's more that her neck is just kind of bent down into herself, so it's actually that her neck is much longer than it looks like, so it's like standing over her and all of a sudden it just extends neck up. On eye level.
There's just nothing I'd ever encountered before. Was there something wrong with me? Felt exactly the same as I always did. Worried, I listened harder.
All the voices I'd been blocking out were suddenly shouting in my head.
Wonder what music she likes. Maybe I could mention that new CD. Mike Newton was thinking, 2 tables away, fixated on Bella Swan.
I really hope Mike's just trying to be a nice guy.
But not like a nice guy TM.
Yeah, no, like he's genuinely like, I hope this new. I mean, yeah, I could still think the new girl's cute or whatever, but I hope he's like, I hope he's trying to make her feel comfortable in the classroom.
I will say, I always have felt kind of like a dichotomy between cute and attractive.
Your kids can be cute, but if you find your kids attractive, that's weird.
Well, like even someone is like, I like look at them and like, oh, they're adorable. I never really think, I'd probably go for them. It's like, nah, they're adorable. Nah.
There's a level of immaturity I feel that goes with cute and adorable that makes it like,
Which is why so much Japanese stuff makes me uncomfortable.
Look at him staring at her. Isn't it enough that he is waiting for what?
Did you turn your microwave on again?
Look at him staring at her. Isn't it enough that he has half the girl waiting for him to... Eric Yorkie was thinking sulfurous thoughts also revolving around the girl.
I'm just imagining Eric Yorkie as an actual Yorkie.
There is a class dog.
Just this dog being really jealous.
Can Edward read the minds of animals? Can he tell once and for all if animals...
I don't think he can, unfortunately. As amazing as that would be. So disgusting. You'd think she was famous or something. Even Edward Cullen, staring. Lauren Mallory was so jealous that her face, by all rights, should be dark jade in color. And Jessica flaunting her new best friend. What a joke. Vitriol continued to spew from the girl's thoughts.
Wait, was Bella's friends actually supposed to be this shallow?
I mean, I don't think you got it as much from Bella's point of view because Bella was an oblivious idiot.
No, but were they supposed to be this shallow the whole time? I thought they were actually people, part of like some group that was,
I'd have to
help the new kids have friends.
I'd have to reread it again. I mean, my whole thing is I've never really gotten overly jealous of other people. Not in recent years, so.
I mean, I'll admit every once in a while I didn't really like hanging out with certain people because, I made assumptions about popular people and I assumed they made fun of them, but I was never jealous of them. It's more like, I think these people are probably going to be dicks, and that's like the most thought I put into it, and then I turn around and go do something else.
Yeah. And most of the time, they honestly weren't.
Yeah, admittedly, most of these people were pretty chill. It's just, high school environment, people
assume shit about everyone.
It's toxic. That's what high school is.
Yeah, it all has to do with, like, the developing mind and shit.
Yeah.
Tom?
I bet everyone has asked her that, but I'd like to talk to her. I'll think of a more original question, Ashley Dowling mused.
You like
What's
dogs?
Your thoughts on socialism?
Are you ready to... would you like to overthrow the bourgeoisie, comrade?
Suddenly, the Russian club comes
Suddenly
into class.
Communist.
Oh, we have a Russian club on school grounds. Are you sure it's not a communist?
What are your thoughts on hard base, comrade? Just like suddenly starts like pumping like Russian hard bass.
Maybe she'll be in my, right?
Yeah.
Maybe she'll be in my Spanish. Ole. June Richard hoped. Whoops. Whoops.
There hasn't really been any grammatical errors, so. Tons left to do tonight. Treg and the English test. Oh, my mom. Angela Weber. Weeb.
I think it's Weber.
Hey, there's only one B.
Yeah, I know. It's one of those weird spellings.
Weber.
Okay.
A quiet girl, whose thoughts were usually kind, was the only one at the table who wasn't obsessed with this Bella. Another Bella, however.
She's been in a closet for a while.
Should I ask her out now? Will she accept me?
I don't even know if she likes girls.
I could hear them all, hear every insignificant thing that they were thinking as it passed through their minds, but nothing at all from the new student with the deceptively communicative eyes.
Holy shit, Edward!
Will you stop? Will you shut up about her owl face?
Not even that. It's just goddamn. Like, you haven't thought of a single important thing today either. You are just as bad as everyone else in the fucking classroom. You piece of shit.
Again, it's over 100 years of teen angst.
You think you'd learned something by then still? Goddamn.
The majority of teenagers seem to think that they're better than the majority of teenagers.
Yep, that was another thing I learned. If you give people a test, to see like if they grade themselves, they are as drivers. Most people will put themselves above 50%, but that's statistically impossible.
Yeah.
And of course, I could hear what the girl said when she spoke to Jessica. I didn't have to read minds to be able to hear her low, clear voice on the far side of the long room.
Which one is the boy with the reddish-brown hair? I heard her ask, sneaking a look at me from the corner of her eye, only to look quickly away when she saw that I was still staring.
Okay, now she thinks he's weird.
I still like the idea of her actually being an owl and unable to turn her eyes, so it's really that she's just looking in the dark.
She's just looking in his direction.
Head towards, looks away.
If I'd had time to hope that hearing the sound of her voice would help me pinpoint the tone of her thoughts, lost somewhere where I couldn't access them, I was instantly disappointed. Usually people's thoughts came to them in a similar pitch as their physical voices, but this quiet, shy voice was unfamiliar, not one of the hundreds of thoughts bouncing around the room. I was sure of that. Entirely new.
Wow, maybe it's because she's a new fucking person you just met, you piece of shit. Oh, good luck, idiot. Jessica thought before answering the girl's question. That's Eduardo. He's gorgeous, of course, but don't waste your time. He doesn't date. Apparently none of the girls here are good looking enough for him. She sniffed. Which goes back to our point from before, where you need common ground, usually for, to get that, appearance thing off the ground.
At very least, you need to have similar interests, and I don't think anyone else has an interest in eating bears.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding, the Cullen family, for some reason, made a habit of hunting carnivorous, predatory animals because to them the blood tasted better than, deer and shit like that.
Then go hunt omnivores like raccoons, and I bet it tastes even better, since, apparently, probably the closest thing to a human.
One of those things that, made my immediate thought is, wow, that's ecologically terrifying.
Yeah, they probably fuck the environment.
Yeah, Forks, Washington is fucked, wildlife-wise. Why are there so many dead bears? And mountain lions.
You'd have to go for something not endangered.
Yeah, that's the whole thing, yeah. I turned my head away to hide my smile. Jessica and her classmates had no idea how lucky, they were that none of them particularly appealed to me.
Beneath the transient humor, I felt a strange impulse, one I did not clearly understand. It had something to do with the vicious edge to Jessica's thoughts that the new girl was unaware of. I felt the strangest urge to step in between them, to shield this Bella Swan from the darker workings of Jessica's mind. What an odd thing to feel. Trying to ferret out the motivations behind the impulse, I examined the new girl one more time.
He's still staring at her! Bella's just like, guys, he's staring at me, If he doesn't like girls, why is he looking at me like this?
If you could read people's minds, couldn't you actually get it to where you're actually looking at someone without looking at them by just looking into someone else's mind as they were looking at that person?
Possibly.
Yeah, he was doing that earlier, talking about how he could already picture Bella's face before.
Yeah, but that had to do with the fact that they were thinking about her, not that they were looking at her.
Alright, yeah. Also, I would love it just to be like, he doesn't date anyone here because none of the girls here are attractive. Just like half of the boys there say, nah, he's gay.
Well, unfortunately, last I checked, Mormons kind of look down on homosexuality.
Oh, is that what kind of area they're in?
No, it's just that Stephenie Meyer's Mormon.
Oh, well, of course no one's going to think that then, but in real life, I know a couple people who'd be like, he's probably gay.
Just someone, actually, I think he's ace.
Yeah, more like sexually savvy person, because I'm pretty sure your average high school, isn't.
Yeah.
Perhaps it was just some long-buried protective instinct, the strong for the weak. Bitch, you want to eat these people? The fuck do you mean?
Yeah, he's a predator, like a protective instinct. I mean, maybe to your own species, but like, even so, you freaking leech.
Motherfucker, just say you're interested in the fact that you can't read this bitch's mind. That's all you care about right now.
It's literally just the whole thing is like, I can't immediately understand you, therefore I'm interested.
This girl looked more fragile than her new classmates. Her skin was so translucent, it was hard to believe it offered her much defense from the outside world.
You understand how pale you are!
Bitch! I could see the rhythmic pulse of blood through her veins under the clear, pale membrane. Sorry, just ate someone. Made me hungry again. But I should not concentrate on that. I was good at this life I'd chosen. But I was just as thirsty as Jasper. There's no point in inviting temptation. He just like runs out of school during lunch, eats the bear, and comes back.
Oh god. Just grabs Squirrel. Immediately gets his ass kicked by the unbeatable Squirrel Girl. I fucking love that comic.
Squirrel Girl.
I fucking love that comic.
The unbeatable girl scored on Twilight.
Do you know who that character is?
Of course.
Like, she's one of the Marvel characters, and I was reading the comics, and the one in which she deals with Galactus is one of the funniest things to me.
Doesn't he get, like, Spider-Man's grandma or something, and they bake cookies with Galactus?
That might have happened at one point, but what the unbeatable Squirrel Girl does, what Squirrel Girl does is she literally reverse engineers the fact that Galactus keeps coming to Earth. It's like, you don't actually want to eat Earth. You just realize that every time you go to Earth, the heroes here only manage to get you to leave by presenting you with another unoccupied planet to eat instead. So literally, you're just using Earth as a delivery service for food.
She just fucking roast Galactus?
It wasn't even roasting, she just literally figured out, so that's why you come to Earth. And then she, like, figured out a planet for them to go to, and so literally, like, you just have them hanging out on the moon, and she takes a selfie with them.
God damn it, Squirrel Girl.
Comic is fucking amazing, I love it. She literally deals with Kraven the Hunter by pointing out the fact that due to the fact that because he's cursed to only be able to be killed by Spider-Man, that he's able to go after far more impressive prey than him, and points out the fact that there are giant sentient, like, whale monsters that are far more difficult to fight. And because he can't be killed by drowning or the crushing depth of the ocean, he can go hunt them instead.
Did he just kind of like stand there for a moment, just be like...
He's literally like, oh shit, you're right. Like, it's actually a pretty fucking good comic, because the whole thing is that nobody is able to actually defeat her, but it's not because she, like, overpowers them in a fight or anything. It's literally that she just comes up with a solution to deal with it. That is, like, something that no one else would think of.
I want to see Squirrel Girl versus Deadpool. Wonder how she's gonna handle that.
She once beat Thanos, so...
How'd you beat Thanos?
No, it never actually clarifies how she did it. All it says that she did it using only one squirrel.
I mean, one squirrel is all it takes.
Fuck your mic, dude.
Yeah, I know my computer crashed. I'm connected to my phone now.
Oh god. But yeah,
is it that bad?
Yes.
Okay, I can't
try backing up a bit.
Okay. Is this a little bit better?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. But yeah, like, that's the whole... the thing that she actually uses to find out stuff about villains is the official Deadpool Villains Guide. And it's a set of trading cards. Like, if any of you who haven't read the comics out there, if you get the chance, read them. They are amazing and totally worth your time. Like, her whole thing is that she can talk to squirrels, as well as has the proportional strength and speed of a squirrel.
Okay, is my voice still sounding terrible, or...
I mean, you're still blowing the mic out a little bit, but this should suffice until you fix the problem with your computer.
Okay, I can't take it away from my head, so
There was a faint crease between her eyebrows that she seemed aware of.
I know I'm supposed to read, but I haven't clicked on the thing yet. I'm trying to figure out my mic. Hang on.
So did she beat Thanos by having the squirrel go for the head?
Like, it's literally the whole thing is it's a story told by someone else.
I was trying to make a joke, because in the movie, Thanos said you should have gone for the head.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Ha!
Possibly.
Now you did get a reference for once.
God
How's it feel?
Terrible. There's also the comic Deadpool versus Thanos, in which, because of the fact that Death's been kidnapped, both Deadpool and Thanos are trying to find her because Thanos is in love with Death while Death is in love with Deadpool. Which has an interesting situation in which we have Thanos trying to kill Eternity, and Deadpool gets blessed with cosmic powers to stop him.
Okay, I'm back to my line here. I'm bringing the mic away from my face a little bit, see if that works, and then I'll have to bring it back to my ear here in just a second. It was unbelievable frustrating. I could clearly see that it was the strain for her to sit there and make conversation with strangers to be the center of attention. I could sense her shyness from the way she held her frail-looking shoulders, slightly hunched as if she was expecting a rebuff at any moment. And yet I could only sense, could only see, could only imagine. There was nothing but her silence from the very unexceptionable human girl. I could hear nothing. Why?
Jesus Christ, this first chapter is so long!
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like 22 is when we get to the next one, right?
I think you said it was 24.
24 or something?
Shit. Let's see.
Want to bust this one up into two parts?
Yeah, when we reach page 12, we'll cut this one off.
Yeah, 23 is when we get to the next one.
Yeah, so page 12 we'll cut off and start part 2 of this.
Alright. What page are we on right now, right? Again?
8.
8?
Yes.
8?
Yes.
8!
We've been getting distracted a lot.
Just a little.
Shall we? Rosalie murmured, interrupting my focus.
Looked away from the girl with a sense of relief. I didn't want to continue to fail at this. It irritated me. I can't read your mind. That pisses me off, despite the fact that I don't like reading people's minds.
Yeah, definitely a teenage mindset there.
And I didn't want to develop any interest in her hidden thoughts simply because they were hidden from me. No doubt. When I did decipher her thoughts, and I would find a way to do so, they would be just as petty and trivial as any human's thoughts. Not worth the effort I would expend to reach them.
Your thoughts are petty!
So
I fucking hate this. I thought we were done with neckbeard stories.
So is the new one afraid of us yet? Emmett asked, still waiting for my response to his question before.
I shrugged. He wasn't interested enough to press for more information, or should I be interested? But you are, bitch!
Unreliable narrator. We got up from the table and walked out of the cafeteria.
Emmett, Rosalie, and Jasper were pretending to be seniors. They left for their classes. I was playing a younger role than they. I headed off for my junior-level biology class, preparing my mind for the tedium. It was doubtful Mr. Banner, a man of no more than average intellect, would manage to pull out anything. That's a rude thing to say about the Hulk. Would manage to pull out anything in his lecture that would surprise someone holding 2 graduate degrees in medicine.
Then why are you here?
Also, it would be Dr. Banner if it was the Hulk, so...
I don't know, man.
Maybe this was before he became Dr. Banner.
In the classroom, I settled into my chair and let my books... Props again. They held nothing I didn't already know. Then fucking leave! Spill across the table. I was the only student who had a table to himself. The humans weren't smart enough to know that they feared me, but their survival instincts were enough to keep them away. Bitch! No, it wouldn't. If I saw a table with one dude sitting on it, I'd sit on the other side of it, away from him.
I don't know if he was giving you that school shooter vibe.
Oh, please. I would have been there to shoot the school, too.
What the fuck?
I just would have sat down and read a book.
That's what I would have done, too. Completely ignored him.
Oh, God.
No amount of survival instincts is gonna help me from not giving a shit. And if there's an empty-ass seat with nobody around, I'd fucking sit there.
I'm too depressed to give a shit.
Exactly.
The room slowly filled as they trickled in from lunch. I leaned back in my chair and waited for the time to pass. Again, I wish I was able to sleep. Tom?
Yeah, hang on. My computer's coming back online and it's slow to boot up. I'm just trying to get it sorted out so I can stop
Suddenly having
talking.
Flashbacks to Amethyst from Steven Universe and the whole fact that the crystal gems don't need to eat or sleep, but she just does it because she enjoys it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'd been thinking about her. When Angela Weber escorted the new girl through the door, her name intruded on my attention.
Bella, seems.
Oh, is it my line? Did he read it?
Yes, he read it.
Oh shit, my bad. Bella seems just as shy as me. I'll bet today is really hard for her. I wish I could say something, but it would probably just sound stupid. Oh.
Aww.
Alright, I'm going to reconnect on my computer.
Aw, poor baby.
Small baby.
Yes! Mike Newton thought, turning his seat to watch the girls enter. Fuck?
Yes! Should I just go ahead and read the next one?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Still, from the place where Bella Swan stood, nothing. The empty space where her thoughts she should be irradiated and unnerved me?
Should be irritated.
Her thoughts should be irritated and unnerved.
Not irradiated.
Bella Swan is able to be immune to the powers of vampire through sheer radiation.
It turns out Bella's radioactive.
Well, that would be an interesting turn of events.
A radioactive owl person. She came closer walking down the aisle beside me to get to the teacher's aisle. Not owl. Whoops. Beside me to get to the teacher's desk. Poor girl, the seat next to me was the only one available. Automatically, I checked what would be her side of the desk, shoving my books into a pile. Cleared, not checked. Shoving my books into a pile. I doubt she would feel very comfortable here. She was in for a long semester. In this class, at least. I make people very uncomfortable. Perhaps,
people are comfortable enough to be at that proximity when there's nowhere to sit at lunch. That's like forced to being sitting there. God damn, I hate Edward. Why do people like this series? He's a dick.
Well, because in the original books they couldn't hear his thoughts.
You know what? Yeah.
Honestly, you'd probably hate most people if you were able to hear their thoughts.
Yeah.
Let's be fair.
Okay, so where are we? I had to.
Not that I would. Oh wait, shit. Perhaps though, sitting beside her, I'd be able to flush out her secrets. Not that I needed close proximity before. Not that I would find anything worth listening to.
It's not that I like you or anything, Baka.
Oh no, he's a tsundere.
Bella Swan walked into the flow of the heated air that blew toward me from the vent.
Her scent hit me like a wrecking ball! Like a battering ram. There's no image violent enough to encapsulate the force of what happened to me in that moment.
In that instant, I was nothing close to the human I'd once been. No trace of the shreds of humanity I'd managed to cloak myself in remained.
I was a predator. She was my prey. There was nothing else in the whole world but that truth.
There was a xenomorph in the corner.
Xenomorph versus the vampires from Twilight.
I'm just flashing back to, I saw it posted recently, but because of the fact that in Mortal Kombat, one of the DLC characters is a xenomorph, was like Johnny Cage versus that, and Johnny Cage just immediately says, your head looks like a dildo.
That sounds like something Johnny would say. Also,
That sounds like something most people say.
Yeah, Xenomorph is actually a pretty fun fighter to play as. I prefer Predator though, but that might just be my bias over. I like the Predator lore more than the Alien lore.
I want to play the Texas Chainsaw Massacre guy in that game.
Leatherface?
Leatherface, yeah.
Yeah, I never really played as him.
Honestly, my favorite thing is someone saying to like the main guy behind Mortal Kombat, like, "Hey, any chance you could put Doom in the next as DLC? Doom guy as a DLC in the next game?" And they just responded with, "Too violent, can't do it."
That's
and
amazing.
the Doom Twitter account responded, "Hey, nothing wrong with a little ultra violence." Like, just imagine Doom guy as a character in Mortal Kombat.
He would kill everyone. I mean, come on.
His fatality just pulls a chainsaw out of nowhere, impales and lifts.
No, that would be one of his basic moves. His fatality would probably be he'd shove his hand into them and tear them in half.
Well, no, that's one of the Luke Cage ones in 10. Oh, God. He just, like, rips off arm, beats their face in with it.
Yeah, no, I could see that happening. Oh, man.
Oh, God, for the X-ray ones, he, like, takes the chainsaw and, like impales and, like, lifts them off the air. Off the ground.
His fatality, BFG, vaporized them.
BFG only works with if there's demonic energy, though.
True.
There are demons in Mortal Kombat.
Yes, but that means it would only work on demons if he used it.
Well, I mean, they haven't followed story logic before in Mortal Kombat, so why start now?
Yeah, I'm just imagining, like, I think they should do that. I mean, there's already a petition to get Ultra Instinct Shaggy in there.
Oh, God, why?
Hey, it's a better meme than Chuck Norris ever was, because at least Shaggy has a personality. And isn't hating on gay people.
Jesus Christ.
Well.
Chuck Norris can suck the fattest of dicks.
No, you wouldn't do that.
He should.
Well, if he hates gays, why would he suck dick?
Exactly my point.
Because he's in the closet. Okay, whose line is it? I think it's Zane's.
Know.
Where are we?
There was no room.
There was no room full of witnesses. They were already collateral damage in the head. Ooh, fancy. The teacher just like pours chemicals on him.
Oh, God.
Rip and Tear starts playing.
The mystery of her thoughts was forgotten. Her thoughts meant nothing, for she would not go on thinking them much longer.
I was a vampire. She had the sweetest blood I'd smelled in 80 years.
I hadn't imagined such a scent could exist. If I'd known it did, I would have gone searching for it long ago. I would have combed the planet for her. I could imagine the taste.
That is the whole thing with Bella, is that she is, like, the whole thing that draws Edward to her is the fact that she smells absolutely fucking delicious.
That's creepy, just gonna say that.
Okay, now I really just think that there's, like, vampires out there running, like, an orphanage or something, trying to breed people that smell and taste good.
I think that was actually the plot to a few different movies, like post-apocalyptic settings in which vampires have taken over the world.
Yeah, I think I've heard about that too. There's like a...
It also reminds me of one manga that I started reading called The Promised Neverland.
Don't spoil it for people!
You'll find out in the first volume!
The anime's out this season.
Yeah,
that's why I'm saying
that's
that.
What my friends are watching. I'd rather not have that spoiled either.
Sorry, I'll shut up.
It'd be like if I started spoiling The Silent Voice, being as that actually has a movie that's like doing a Fathom event like soon.
Yeah.
Which I read that manga and shit, that made me cry.
A Silent Voice, is that what it's called?
Yeah. Zane's line.
Oh no!
Thirst burned.
Thirst burned in my throat like fire. My mouth was baked and desiccated. The fresh flow of venom did nothing to dispel the sensation. Why is this guy drooling?
It's just drooling, like you see it like dripping down his chin.
My stomach twisted with hunger. That was an echo of the thirst. My muscles coiled to spring.
Not a full second had passed. She was still taking the same step that had put her downwind from me.
As her foot touched the ground, her eyes slid toward me, a movement she clearly meant to be stealthy. Her glance met mine, and I saw myself reflected in the wide mirror of her eyes.
The shock of the face I saw there saved her life for only a few moments, though.
Again, I'm just thinking about Owl Bella, so I'm just imagining, like, she thought she was being stealthy, but being as she had to move her entire head to do so. She didn't make it easier. When she processed the expression on my face, blood flooded her cheeks again, turning her skin the most delicious color I'd ever seen. The scent was a thick haze in my brain. I could barely think through it. My thoughts raged, resisting control, incoherent.
Guys, I think this guy wants to hurt me or do something with me. Like she
Why
just
does
goes,
he look so angry?
Yeah.
She walked more quickly now, as if she understood the need to escape. Her haste made her clumsy. She tripped and stumbled forward, almost falling into the girl seated in front of me. Vulnerable, weak, even more than usual for a human. Oh my...
This man sucks.
Yes,
Twilight,
but he has a nice ass.
You know who else has a nice ass? I don't know any people, so I don't know.
Doom guy.
Look at that taut, bloody ass.
Oh, God.
Doom guy's ripped, just saying.
Shit. That Zane's line.
She walked?
No, I tried.
I tried to focus on the face I'd seen in her eyes. The face of the monster in me. Face I'd beaten back for decades of effort and uncompromising discipline. How easily it sprang to the surface now.
The scent swirled around me again, scattering my thoughts and nearly propelling me out of my seat. And I think that's where we're going to leave it.
Yeah, my line is no, so we'll end it there.
So we're leaving it off at 11? Or?
Yeah, we're leaving it off at this, and we are going to do a double session today to make up for...
Let's try not to get off topic as much.
Yeah.
Hey.
I'm Llytic.
I'm Tom.
I'm a werewolf because vampires suck.